Hello, my name's Adam Cook, and it is the God is a Geek podcast. It's time. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week for some of you. And as I say, my name's Adam Cook, and I'm joined by Nicola Ardron.
Hello. Good morning. Yeah, I'm all right.
Is it? But is it morning?
It is. I had to double check quickly. I was like, but
is it when people are listening? It
Oh,
might be,
that's a good point.
You see?
Oh, man, I can't cope. I'm rubbish at this. I'm all right, thanks, Adam.
Good.
Still hanging on to the poorliness, so I might be a bit nasally, so apologies going forward. But yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
But it is that time of year when, I've had the remnants of a cold for, I think, 6 weeks now. I think I got rid of one, and I've now got another one somehow. It's just that time of year, isn't it, you know?
Well, I've had a sinus infection that feels like I've broken my nose, so I've had a great week.
Okay, you win. Fine, you win. Chris, are you winning? Chris White is here.
Hello, everybody. Whatever time of day you listen to, whatever day of the week, wherever you are, hello, and good day to you all.
You see, the mistake we're making is that we're drawing attention to the time thing when we should just ignore it and move on, because it's getting to that time. Oh no, I've done it already. I've said time again. Getting to that. It is getting to that time of the year where we're not far off recording our Game of the Year podcast. That's what we'll call it now. The Game of the Year, the Game of the Year podcast. So that means that a lot of what we've been playing for the regular podcast is going to be kind of getting through the backlog, I guess. I'll talk about it a bit later because I think I've talked about it last week, but I have spent... Sod it, let's just do it now. I'll start. I've spent most of the week playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and
yes,
I it's a long game, isn't it?
Yeah, huge.
It just... Because there's a mission... I'm obviously, spoilers we'll save for the Game of the Year podcast, as we do every year.
Yeah.
But there is a story mission that I did yesterday or the day before. Doesn't matter because time is fluid in this podcast world. But I did it, and there's a bit where there's a character who can speak to you. Mm-hmm. I will just say that, and he says something like, if you're not ready, don't go in here because there's no turning back. And I thought, that's kind of a heavy-handed way of doing that thing where, like, The Witcher does it, where it comes up saying, by the way, after you do this, you're into the end game. Yeah. And it wasn't. And it's still going. And so I played the game originally back when we got review code. You and Chris and I were playing it, and that would have been late February because it was actually quite early, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
'Cause the game was out in March.
Yeah, it was a good 2 weeks or so early.
That's right. And I can say this now, having spent more time on it. Very proud of you, Chris, because that's some game to get through.
It was tough. I think I know what point you mean, because I'd powered through it, and then there is this point. There's a big fight you have, and I don't know if this is the part you're on, because we're being dead cryptic.
It is, because I think I've played it more recently than you, Chris.
Yeah.
I know exactly where he's at.
Yeah, you have this huge fight that quite frankly was pushing me to my limit. It was
in the arena.
Yeah.
That's after that bit. Or is it?
Right.
Yeah, that's after. Yeah.
Well, that was like where I was assuming it was nearing an end, but you also at the same time you're thinking, well, it's not really wrapped it up properly. So how are they going to do it? And then it's like another 10 hours. So you're just like,
I will say, right, a lot of things I've heard about this are that it wraps up really well, and I'm really excited, and I will probably finish that today, I think, because there can't be much more game left. Story left.
You'll know when it ends, because it's
I know.
It's
I feel like it's very much ramping up. But I also heard people saying, there's just enough left that we hope, because I haven't finished it, but already I'm like, okay, so I actually liked the Killzone series. I always have. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I like it.
I do,
and I've always liked... Good, I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah, Killzone's ace. The Vita one was all right, but the actual series itself was a really good fun.
It's a very different feeling shooter. It's a very heavy feeling shooter. But I don't mind that different. In the same way that Doom and Wolfenstein, I say, a different type of shooter. Blimey, you okay?
Oh, I say, if you've fallen.
my coffee... What are they called that you put your coffee...
Coaster.
Stuck to my coffee cup and then fell off.
Oh, no.
Bloody,
anyway.
Yeah.
I'll probably leave that in. Anyway, I like them games. And but this does feel like, whether there was influence from Sony or whatever to be like, make a different kind of game. But they have done that. And it definitely, Zelda kind of ate its lunch, but going back to it now, as I said previously, I felt like I wouldn't be able to get into it, but I wanted to try, and I have spent all I've done is played Horizon, and it's interesting because Zelda I would laud and will be lauding on the Game of the Year podcast. I hate to keep pimping that, but I will be mentioning how that it's, for me, the first genuinely true open world game. But that said, Horizon Zero Dawn, its open world, is alive enough and well enough realised that I actually want to do the side content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I feel like, I mean, I will, as I said, well done, Chris, for getting through it for the review. But I'm very glad I've been able to play it at my own pace, and I just it's so vast. Like I've got the Frozen Wilds as well, and I went up there, but that's like level 30 stuff, and I'm now like level 37, so I'm approaching. I may go back and do that before the. Because talking to you,
I think you should, because it's basically it's meant to be played concurrently with the actual story, because that you're talking to characters where they have resolution in the main story, so in theory they wouldn't necessarily be a part of it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because most people obviously would have finished it by now. I mean, I finished it recently, and I was thinking, I'm going to get the DLC, and I'm a bit like,
But that's kind of a DLC. It was the reminder for me of like you need to give this. I mean, I was 9 hours in, so I played it a lot.
Yeah,
but I felt like perhaps I was not giving it the attention it deserved, because it warrants it.
I vaguely remember that when this came out and Chris was reviewing and everything, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that you kind of felt a bit lukewarm
100%.
about it.
Yep, 100% I did.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the difference is, unless it was just the Zelda effect. But no, I would have probably given it a 7 back then, I think.
Yeah, I do recall you being a little more lukewarm about it.
No, I was. No,
and I
like
do
I say,
think there's something to be said about being in the right mood for some of these
100%.
games.
Like, there is no part of me that's like, I've got to get this done because I've got to write about it or do video on it. It's like, no, I'm just playing this because I want to. And admittedly, in our position, you do end up having a lot of games that fall by the wayside. But it's always been my sort of winter treat. Like, I finally get time to get down and give this some attention. And I just, like I say, I probably would have given it a 7 back then, but like now it's way higher. Like it's a contender come that podcast that I'm not going to mention again. But there are issues with it. Like I find that some of the world where they've kind of gone towards like the Tomb Raider style climbing where you can grab certain elements, but they've also kind of got the Bethesda style thing where you can get up a lot of rocks and mountains if you sort of jump around enough at the right angles, you'll catch. And I feel like I couldn't see the yellow hangy bits in a story mission last night, and I was like, I can see I have to get past this waterfall and get high, but I can't see how, and I can't go up this rock face because it's designed to keep you within the game world. It actually comes up and says, you are leaving the game world, you will be reloaded at your save point, which is interesting. So you obviously can get out of the game world, but I would also say that after a while, I think you fall into a certain rhythm, and like for the last 20 hours, I probably haven't changed weapons. I've got all the shadow weapons.
Yeah.
So I like, the only thing I've had a problem with is I have for ages been trying to find a raccoon bone because I want to upgrade my sharpshooter, and I could not find. I finally got one last night, and I was like, yes, now I can upgrade it again because it'll be something different, and it's a raccoon skin. So I've got to find more. And raccoons seem really hard to find.
Yeah,
like, there's loads of turkeys and like bloody hell, there's enough.
Try the rats.
Turkeys.
I have one with rats and fish bones.
Really?
And it's so frustrating. The whole crafting to make bigger inventory kind of gets on my tits a bit, if I'm honest. I felt it was a bit out of... It kind of does, I guess it fits in with the world, but I kind of felt it pulled me out a little bit, having to just go off and see if I could find a rabbit. Yeah, so I just kind of left it, and if I saw a creature that came up in my focus, I would shoot it, and then hopefully over time gather enough resources that I'd be able to upgrade at some point. But I never focused that much on crafting and upgrading because it felt a bit of a chore because they were so difficult to find.
you can't hunt the way you can bring the map up and go, oh, like there's some thunder jaws, I'll go to that area. And then, and in other places, and I don't know if this is intentional, but there are certain areas where you have to cross. I don't mean like in terms of climb, but just cross the plains to get from where you are to like the next mission. And it will be like there are just 4 different hunting areas, and it's like, well, I'm just going to sprint because I can't win this fight. There's bird things above me. There's a huge, dinosaur-y thing over there. Like I need to just and sometimes it's like. So last night I had this where there was birds in the sky, and there was I think stalkers, which are annoying as hell, and I just kept dying. So I was just trying to find my way through, and I was like, I don't have to fucking kill these. So I just start. One of my favourite weapons actually is the thing where you can tie enemies down. Yeah, I think that's incredibly useful. Oh
man, so useful.
And then just target there. Like I love it when you get. How to phrase it? I love the way when if you know an enemy well enough, all right, I know how to take you down. So like with the I think it's glint hawks. No, it's the other one because glint hawks are the huge ones, aren't they?
No, the glint hawks are the annoying bastards. The stormbirds are the huge
that's right.
ones.
Yeah, so the glint hawks is for me. It's just tie them down and just put like 15 fire arrows in them, and they will just burn themselves out, and that's incredibly satisfying.
That's interesting because my glint hawk strategy is to go into the slow-mo mode and shoot their chest, so that component comes off, and then shoot it again, and they end up freezing themselves, and then they fall to the ground, and you can get a critical hit on them.
I've done the critical hit by tying them down, but so no, I've never tried that. I might have to try that because I find they're too squirrely in the air. Like I can't get a beat on them. So I find if I tie them down, it pulls them out of the sky. And also, if you hit them with a fire arrow, it often can inflame them, so they fall straight out of the ground, and then you can run over. And then I've tied them down again, and like I just because the skill where you can fire 3 arrows at once, like doing that with a fire arrow on these things just sets them ablaze, and it's like they almost fly off, and then they just burn out in the sky and fall to the ground. And I love that there is actually you really have to know the enemy. You have to know its weakness. So there's there's a huge one that throws rocks at you.
Oh, jeez, the rock.
I haven't killed one of them yet because they seem ridiculously hard,
Where they
and I'm too scared to go near them. Yes.
Oh my god, that's the worst enemy, the rock breaker.
I thought it was just me, but they're too. I'm just scared to go near them because they just decimate me. But I have got well, it's a mission, so I won't mention it. But I've got a certain armor that you can get by finding other items for a cauldron, and I'm excited to try that out. It's a fantastic game. I'm surprising nobody probably, but I genuinely was, like you said, lukewarm. I thought it was a good game, but I wouldn't have been singing its praises. And now I've spent time with it, relaxed at my own pace. Like I'm approaching 35, 40 hours, and I'm surprised by. Normally, with a game that big, I would be like, okay, I'm ready for it to end now. Whereas what I'm actually sat here thinking is I'm pretty sure I could finish the story in the next hour or so. But I maybe want to go and do some of the side quests because I'm enjoying it. Yeah. And that's cool.
Well, I spent 70 hours playing it.
But I can see how, because you just lose time to it. It raptures you, doesn't it?
I just really, like you said, the world. I just really like being in the world. So I spent an obscene amount of time just riding about and taking pictures.
It's very easy to do. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing that as well. It's, I mean, I've not mentioned the story because we'll talk more about that, I suspect, in weeks to come. But it's very good, and she's wonderful. Like,
she is.
I've fallen a bit in love with her. I've fallen a bit in love with Aloy.
She is.
The only thing that I've noticed, she sighs a lot.
Yeah.
Did you notice? It's not just me. Like, a lot of her sentences start with, "Well, this is the thing," and then she does it an awful lot. And I noticed it yesterday. Like, it's a bit like, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Muse. Matt Bellamy, when he sings in the early days, he used to take real sharp intakes. He's like that before a lot of his lines, and once you notice it, that's Muse ruined for you. Which is, that's Muse ruined for our listeners. I've also, since I'm talking about what I've played, I've also played some Sonic Forces.
So have I, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it's wanking it.
We're both playing on Xbox, right?
Where's Gary? Didn't he like it?
He liked it, and that's fine. He's allowed, but like, first appearances are often deceiving, but they can also be damn right. And having tearing in a cutscene
Oof.
where the game's not V-synced in the 2017 on an Xbox One X. In my case, it's like, what have you done? Like, did you notice that, Chris, in the opening cutscene?
Yeah.
Because you've done a video that people will see soon. Is there?
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I didn't even get as far as you did.
Yeah, it's not the greatest performance I've seen in a while, and just in general, like the very first, and I mentioned it in the video that I do, is that you move it because you move in. It kind of alternates between going forward, like in the 3D world, to the 2D. Well, not 2D side scrolling, but like the 3D side scrolling. But when you're going, like, you're looking at him from behind and you're following him, moving from left to right is so clunky, and it should be so fluid, and it's awful, and it's just I don't know. It just, after Sonic Mania, once again they've let him down. They've let the character down. They've let the franchise down. I just think, I mean, maybe it gets better, but also the whole character creation is just lame. It's lame. I created like this lanky beanpole of a bear, and you don't get to start with any clothes. So he's just like this naked, thin bear, and he looks like lifeless. There's no kind of personality. It is literally just some avatar. It doesn't feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh because I haven't played more than like an hour or two. But oh my god!
I mean, I made it 10 minutes. I did the first 2 levels, and it's just not. It's so dull. Like it acts like it's really fast, but then when you stop boosting, you just stop. Like he just stops, and you're oh shit, I'm in. And that's the thing. You're like, you have to remember, I'm actually playing this. I'm in control now, because so much of it feels automated that when you regain control out of those boosts, you sort of forget you're playing it. And why has he got a flamethrower? Like, what's that all about? What
fuck knows? What? Yeah.
And also that avatar creator, you mentioned that. Like, I think it's got potential for some comedy in it, but that kind of bugs me because it feels a bit like designed for YouTube. You know? Like,
Gotcha, yeah.
You know, just design a derpy character and then make it, you know, my derpy character on YouTube. You know?
Yeah. It's just disappointing. Although it wasn't one I was expecting it to be anything special.
No, and that's the thing. Yeah. You go in with low expectations and somehow it's not met them. You know?
That's not good.
It's just boring. Like maybe, you know, again, like you said, you've got to be in the mood, but I kind of like, well, let's have a look at this. You know, it can't be that bad. Oh, it's bad. You know, it's pretty bad. It's not horrendous. It's not the worst game you've ever played. It's not offensively bad. It's just, but I don't know who it's for.
It's like it's Sega. You know, it's Team Sonic. This is
Team Sonic. Yeah,
this is like, these are like the pioneers, bar Nintendo, for these characters, and you see
a long time ago, Chris.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, and a million. Well, a million. That's not possible. But you've got like Knack 2, for instance, which was good. It was a
that's
great,
better than this.
Really good fun. Even Super Lucky Tale, mate, and I gave that like a 7 or whatever.
Yeah, it's better than this.
That was better than this. Crash. There's just loads that have come out this year. They're just a million times better.
There's a Hat in Time. A Hat in Time on PC is wonderful. Mario, obviously.
Yeah.
There's another one I'm forgetting, but like, no, it just, I don't know. It just feels like I don't get the point of it. Like, especially when you've got Sonic Mania, which has made a lot of people feel good about Sonic for the first time in a long time. Why would you not just say, Sonic Forces is coming 2018, give it some distance?
Yeah, but bit of breathing room, but no.
Does it feel cynical?
How so?
Well, in that there's a lot of, you know, like Crash Bandicoot's been revived, that kind of thing. Does it feel like a bit of a cynical push a title out with Sonic on?
I mean, if they think this is even in the same leagues, then they've made a massive miscalculation. Like, it's just dull. And sometimes I think a dull game's worse than a bad game, because a bad game you can have fun with, you can laugh at it. A dull game is just, I don't want to play this, you know, and that's bad. I mean, I've also played Rocket League Switch, I should mention, which is fine, 60 frames, but looks like massively downgraded, like massively visually, like it's got jaggies and like there's no anti-aliasing, and it's just a rough looking game, but it still plays great because it's still Rocket League on Switch, you know. It's still, you know, and that's quite cool. And I've also, just to finish off like the little quick games I've played, Knowledge is Power, we mentioned that the other week. It's all right. Again, I feel like PlayLink is chasing the Jackbox thing, but I don't think they quite get what makes it work. So, like, Jackbox is simple because you can give any member of your family a mobile phone. Say, go to your browser, Opera or whatever you're using, or Chrome or Firefox, and type in jackbox.tv. Then put your name in and the code that's on this screen, and you will be in the game. And I just think it's weird that Sony aren't doing that and are instead making an app for every game. Because you could make a PlayLink app that downloads updates, and ends up a huge app, or you could even choose within the app which games you want added. I also don't know that it's. I mean, my son and I played it, just the two of us, and we did a video which is up now, and like it doesn't even make for good viewing because a lot of what you're reacting to is on your screen. Like it doesn't explain itself to viewers. It's not even a game I would recommend for Twitch players.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I think my review's done. I gave it a 7 point.
Okay.
No, maybe 7. It's much better than That's You, because That's You was just a bit dull, and it was slow to move along, and each question seems to take forever. It's a lot snappier. I kind of like the ideas of the power plays.
Yes, that seemed like it would have been better if we were playing with 4 of us.
Exactly, yeah. It works better as a larger team, but it's just missing that buzz, literally. That buzz element to it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I think, and I mentioned this in my review, how with Knowledge's Power, Hidden Agenda, even That's You and SingStar, they're great for like a night of it. You can just whack them all on for like 40 minutes, an hour a piece. You can play through the Hidden Agenda campaign, then have a bit of light relief with Knowledge's Power, then whack SingStar on. And I like the idea, and I didn't even know there's a fucking Planet of the Apes one that sounds amazing that they've just released. Which I think it's like Hidden Agenda where you choose decisions and stuff like that. But that's part of the PlayLink series, so they seem to be constantly adding to it. There's another one coming out at some point next year, early next year. So they are trying to kind of keep it. There's not a lot of content in each one. It seems to be spread thin, but when you put it together, there's a nice video game sandwich for all to enjoy. Should have put that in my review. But
no, you still can. It's not gone up yet, has it?
Yeah, true.
The only other thing I've done is watched a lot of Super Mario Odyssey because my son's obsessed with it, my youngest, and I won't say the specific thing he's done because I suppose it's a bit of a spoiler, which I know it sounds mad for a Mario game, but we've had this discussion. He's finished the hardest level in the game, and anyone who knows what I'm referring to knows what I mean, and he spent he was playing it before he went to school and he couldn't do it, and he came home after school and he finished it. And like my son's better at games than me. Like the way you're watching him play Cuphead as well has been an education. Like I'm a bit concerned, but but like Mario Odyssey continues to be a game I just adore. Like I'm gonna have to try and steal the Switch back off him and play some of it. But Chris, what have you been playing?
Well, there's a lot of little bursts on video games over the last week because obviously it's winding down a bit the year, so it's giving me time to kind of dabble with all sorts of games. And to kind of counterpoint your Horizon playthrough, and you enjoying Horizon as a game, I've been doing a bit with Zelda, so I've kind of I'm not far at all, but I have given it some time, good 3-4 hours, and like Horizon, it's just a lovely game to just explore, and I'm not rushing to play it. I'm just it took me ages to do one point the other day because I just didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing, but I was having to travel somewhere and then travel back, and just exploring it is insane. Like I just like, you feel like you're on a proper adventure across the plains of Hyrule because it's so like massive.
Out of interest, are you because this is one thing. Like I reviewed that. I think I definitely did. Did I? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I did.
Yes, you did.
And it's like Mario Odyssey. Both games, 10 out of 10. They didn't even require much thought. There was no part where I was like, well, is it? They're very simple games in that respect to review. But there's a lot of nuance to them. And the thing about Zelda, I know I didn't do, and it wasn't a time restraint thing because I was well aware at one point I may not finish this, so I won't score it. But I did in the end. But that's kind of the magic of Breath of the Wild. Like at any point, if you want to just go, right, I'm going to go and take on Ganon, you can. It's about getting what you want out of it. And to that end, the kind of opposite end of Horizon Zero Dawn for me. I didn't do a lot of side questing in Zelda. I mean, I did stuff that was by nature sort of opposite to the side of the main quest, but none of them perhaps were, this is a side quest, because a lot of Zelda is do what you want. And how much of that are you doing?
I've done very few side quests. I'm just trying to kind of get through the main quest, just because I'm enjoying it. There's no other reason. That I've got a few side quests backed up, but I'm kind of just playing through the main stories because I like advancing quite a lot in a game before I go back and try and do side quests. Even when I'm not reviewing, I like to get a bulk of that story under my belt so that I can
see. I not to go back to Horizon. I don't anymore. Like I find again, we're all similar ages. I'm finding games are too long these days. That's why Horizon's.
Kind, Adam. You're too
well,
kind.
I'm not going to listen. I'll say nothing. But like that's why Horizon's impressed me so much, because I want to do this stuff. Whereas in an Assassin's Creed, even a Zelda, I'm like, I want to do what I want to do, and like so when you say you're doing the main quest, you mean you're doing the I can't remember what they're called. The main dungeons, I guess. The 4 main dungeons. Yeah,
I'm kind of heading in a direction, but even then, I'm not even that far into it. So
are you doing the? I can't really remember what any of the things are called in Zelda. I might have to replay it again before our Game of the Year stuff. Like, the ones where you go through the mini puzzle dungeons where you have to use your skills to get the orbs, which you can then use to upgrade stuff.
Yes, that's pretty much what I'm doing at the minute.
Oh, and then okay. So that is kind of side stuff, sort of.
Kind of dabbling with that, and then I've just had one of the things I've just done, which took me an hour to do, was like there's a tree with a blue flame in it, light the blue flame, and then take it to the technology centre.
Oh, well, yeah.
But the thing is, I didn't realise there were torches inside the technology centre, so I was travelling around like this towns trying to look for like a pitchfork or a broom or anything to light.
Something you can light.
And it was insane. Like, and I didn't even know there was those things on the way to the technology centre that you could light along the way. To
really?
Kind of keep, I proper messed up.
Can you do it without lighting the midway torches? Because don't you get attacked by enemies or it starts raining or something?
Oh, yeah. If it rains, you're fucked. But also, because I didn't have a torch, the brooms and that weren't lasting very long. So it was a very, very tedious thing. But it was my own fault. It wasn't the game's. It's me being stupid, not noticing. But but Zelda, cool game. I'm trying to play more, but I'm kind of enjoying just dabbling in the minute. I can't really focus on anything. So I've been playing, obviously Mario. We talked about. I'm still on that.
Got any further?
I'm at the Luncheon. I'm at the Luncheon Kingdom, and it's not a spoiler because that's what I played in the preview. Yeah,
I really liked the Luncheon Kingdom. I think it's quite interesting.
I like. There's a lot of cool like old references and stuff that I like, or things that were, back in the day that I've found. As I say, like I'm just enjoying playing it. I'm not rushing through. Yeah. Although now, after you telling me about getting to the end,
I would recommend. Still, I would thoroughly recommend just get through it and go, because you will have to go back to all the places anyway.
Yeah, so I am kind of powering through that now. Like I've just done I've just done the seaside town, so I'm kind of powering through that. But it's just nice to kind of take your time and play some games. Yep. Elsewhere, I've been a lot on the Xbox, to be fair. So, I've been on Evil Within 2. I gave that a bit of a blast.
Desperately need to find some more time for that. Desperately.
Yeah, it's quite good.
I still need to play the first one. I'm too scared because you're going to bully me and do a stream, aren't you? Swine.
Yeah, the first one's pretty bloody scary. There's a bit right at the start which would be amazing to watch on Nick.
Thanks.
It's all right, but that's good fun. Bit of Cuphead, but that's just too hard. I'm not good enough.
Get your kids to play it, mate. You'd be fine.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I dare. Like they'll just embarrass me.
This is my dastardly plan because, as you know, I won Cuphead.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
the lovely Darren.
Yes.
And I don't play it at the moment because I know I'm going to be rubbish. Bearing in mind how bad I am at Ori. Can you imagine me at Cuphead? Oh dear.
It's a difficult game.
So I'm currently sweet talking the boy. See if he can assist.
Yeah, it's co-op. It's got 2-player.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sweet talking him Tom, do you think you might want to try this game?
This looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. For review, I've been playing SingStar. So yeah, so there you go.
This is another PlayLink, right? You sing into your phone.
Yeah, it's another PlayLink.
Yeah.
It's kind of solely on your phones because a lot of them are like, iPad or a tablet of some sort. This one's solely microphone.
Imagine using an iPad to play.
I know, yeah.
Having to hold an iPad in front of your face like a dinner plate.
Yeah. It's fine. It's SingStar, isn't it?
I guess it is.
There's 30 songs.
Do they have the music videos to the songs on screen?
Yeah,
okay,
on screen.
something.
Yeah, I know know them well. About 4 of them.
Oh dear. Go on, what 4? Name the 4. Let me see if we know.
Top of my head. Wonderwall, obviously.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, fair enough.
Rehab. Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse, yeah, okay.
Adele. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hello.
nice cheery one, yeah.
How are you? Yeah, that one.
What was that bit? I don't remember that bit of the song.
All right, mate. Fuck it. Oh, Britney, bitch.
Which Britney? Which song?
Oops, I did it again.
Oh, really?
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the thing is, we got because there was on the PS4. There was just like a SingStar app which you could download. So me and Lauren, we got that ages ago, and we bought about 10 songs from that. And then when we downloaded Celebration, 10 downloads automatically started, and it was all the songs that we'd got, and it was like, oh, wicked. So you could use there's like a library of there is about 797 songs that you can download.
So
obviously
what's the
you have
difference,
to pay
Chris?
for them.
Because didn't in the sort of free app version you could get ages ago, that you could use your phone for, right?
I know, but yes, yeah, definitely. I know there's no difference to me.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember
new
any
songs.
difference. Yeah, I think it's more streamlined the way you could upload, because you can, if you really want to, and you're nice and vain enough, you can film yourself and then upload it to the SingStar community via Facebook and Twitter.
Because we did a video, I can't remember if it ever went live, if you ever used it, but Colin and I did a video.
Oh, I remember that.
Did we? Did that go live? Where he was just
did you not hit him with a
screaming?
microphone, or someone's?
No, he was just
bad happened.
It was a second take because something had gone wrong with the first recording, and he was screaming so fucking loud.
Yeah.
It genuinely afterwards, I had to say, "You have actually hurt my ears. You genuinely hurt my ears. It's that loud."
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, so it's fine. There's lots of songs. If you want to put some money into it, I think they're about £1.50 each. So it's fine. But there's a lot of choice if you do want to.
What, you mean there are microtransactions in a SingStar game?
Oh,
moving on.
Yeah, moving on. But it's all right. It's all right. But that's kind of it. Just I've been. I did. You know what we'll talk about? I'll talk about a little interview I did on Monday, because
cool.
It leads into next week, and it'll be going live on Monday. The write-up will. It's already gone. The audio's already gone to patrons, so that's why you should back us.
And on that note, if you do want that, like say $1, Chris said, you back us $1 or £1 a month. Actually, it's less than $1 a month, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I was going to go political. Not here, not now. But for that same price, you will get this podcast, but you'll get it a couple of days early, and there'll be a bit on it that everyone else won't hear. So if you're listening to this and you're not a patron, you're missing out on gold. Sorry, Chris, please continue.
No, that's fine.
That's the advert for this week.
Yeah, it was with Jessica Curry. So if you don't know who she is, then I'll be surprised. She's basically the composer and co-founder. She was co-founder of the Chinese Room, and she wrote the scores for Dear Esther, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. There's a Google VR game that they did, which is quite good in the interview, actually, because she was talking about how they wanted to try something different, and they didn't want to stick to the same mold of making these, what we call them, I think Adam coined it, Wonder Games.
No, that was oh god, it was a chap from Firewatch that we interviewed on the podcast. He
I thought
you
that.
No,
I thought you
no, that's not mine. No.
Oh, right, okay, sorry, Camposanto. It was yours.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they'll care, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. And she was just saying how they wanted to do something different. It's a very she loved the score. It was a very passionate piece of work, but because no one's buying it, no one's buying VR. It's kind of no one knows about it, and it got quite I won't say emotional, but it's quite moving because it just shows you who are behind games, and it kind of opens your eyes to everything. I'm not going to go on about Battlefront for this in the sense of the microtransactions, but just in the sense that people make these games. People who have to go home at the end of the day and have a family around. They have to have kids they have to feed. They're not being shits for the sake of it. There's a lot of reasons why things happen, and it's not all to do with money, and it's not always to do with swindling people. But anyway, so she was going on about how it's kind of fallen by the wayside, and it was a bit sad. But also, we got to talk about like everybody's gone to the Rapture and Dear Esther, which are like especially Gone to the Rapture. Like that's one of my favourite games of 2015. I just adore it, and getting to talk to her about the actual score and the process was really interesting.
You should have told her. You should have said that I bought my mum the score for that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Oh man, because she was saying about how people go to they're going to the Dear Esther tour and saying that they've got the scores for their parents and stuff who have never played the video game.
That's
That's
wonderful
exactly
bit
what
of
I
music.
did. My mum heard it in the car. My mum heard it in the car, and she said, "What's this?" I said, "Oh, it's a musical score for a game that I've played." And she goes, "It's lovely." So last Christmas, I bought it her on CD so she could have it in her car.
Wow.
It's just a beautiful piece of music.
It is. That soundtrack is exquisite. It's painful sometimes listening to it.
There's a track I can never remember the name of. I always have to bring Spotify up to find which one it is. It's quite near the end of the game, and it's got a real swell to it that it always makes me feel a bit emotional. Just beautiful music.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it was just really nice talking to her. And she's a very talented woman. The Chinese Room are a great developer. They are currently having a bit of a break, but it kind of ended on a high because she was talking about her husband Dan, who is part of the Chinese Room, has
Dan Pinchbeck.
Dan Pinchbeck, who was equally kind of disappointed with the success of So Let Us Melt, where he kind of felt the need that they are an independent studio. They do they need the success to keep going, and they didn't get that. But she was basically said he's taken a step back. What he's working on now is going to kind of blow our minds in a sense. She really kind of feels strongly about the game. She couldn't give any details, obviously, but it sounds very much like we should be expecting, something special. And I think if you're a fan of Dear Esther and Rapture, you're gonna want to play it anyway. But it just from the way she talks about it and the kind of the passion that was in her voice, that they've gone back and they're working on something really kind of important. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's next year, tentatively. But yeah, it was a really nice chat. She's so lovely, and you can listen to her on Radio 2 because she does. Sorry, not Radio 2, Classic FM. She does the High Score, the video game show where they play loads of music from video games. I think it's Saturday night 9 till 10. So that was also talked about, and yeah, she's just great. And that'll be going up on Monday,
which is in the past.
So yeah, you'll be able to read that right now on godsageek.com. But yeah, just go read it. It's great. Well,
Sure.
She's great.
Fab.
Anything else, Chris? Anything else on your list you want to talk about before we move to Nicola?
No, just move to Nicola.
Okay.
It's all kind of been bits and pieces, really. Nothing substantial. It's just getting back to the shittest games, really.
Cool. Okay. Well, Nick, what have you been playing then?
I've been playing The Sims 4 on the old Xbox. Excuse me.
Well, this has been a long time coming, hasn't it? I think, I remember them talking about the console release ages ago, and I guess now it's here.
It's officially out.
Right. And are you a Sims fan? I mean, I know the answer, but
I've
our
never
audience
played
doesn't.
one before.
Okay.
I just, as you know, I don't like playing on my PC, and the fact that they've been pretty much PC centric. I know The Sims 3 came out on Xbox 360 because I remember my friend playing it, but I've never been motivated enough to get one, even though it seems like a game that I'd really, really enjoy.
Right.
So yeah, I've been playing The Sims 4 for review, and I've written my review, and I'm still playing The Sims 4.
Okay, well that's a good sign. So 10 out of 10?
No.
Oh.
I mean, it's not great on the console, I'll be honest. I think that the control system is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. It feels like there's been no work at all to translate the PC menus and how you move around with a mouse to a console. It just feels really unintuitive. It's not an easy game to play with the controller.
That sucks.
I'll be honest.
It's supposed to be a relaxing kind of game, isn't it?
Yeah,
And if it's awkward...
It is awkward.
Oh.
I mean, I have got a bit more used to it now because I've learnt sort of the idiosyncrasies of it, and I've sort of remembered the keystrokes or button strokes. What's the control? You know what I mean, anyway. I've learned
controls.
I've learned the sort of the controls for doing certain things. I mean, yeah, the controls are a big barrier to enjoying it. Also, as a noob to The Sims, it doesn't really help you with like the mechanics of what you're supposed to do. So it has a tutorial that kind of flashes up every now and again with little tips, but that kind of stops. So it helps you create a character and, you know, set their aspirations and their personality types and this, that and the other. It helps you do that, and then it kind of helps you place them in the world. But then it just sort of disappears. It just sort of buggers off. And I just did not know what I had to do. So, yeah, it just kind of leaves you a bit. Like, for example, I didn't understand that, you know, you can send your sim off to work, but in order to, like, increase their productivity or whatever at work and get a promotion so that they can earn more money, there's sort of subtasks that you can do to help that along. Well, I didn't realise that till I was about 8 hours in, thinking, well, this sim's not making very much money. This is a bit of a grind. So there's all sorts of mechanics in it that it doesn't really tell you how to do it. And then I made another sim. See, this is another thing. I didn't realise you could actually make another sim and have them in the world as well, and have them interact with your sim, and you can then switch to that other sim to play as them for a little bit if you wanted to. Again, that didn't really get explained to me.
You're playing God, Nicola.
Yeah, so it may be because I'm a bit thick, which is possible, but
I doubt it.
I also felt like, you know, okay, I appreciate that it's like Sims 4, and most people, I guess, who are going to be interested in it are going to maybe be a bit more familiar than me. But there again, this is the first sort of comprehensive console game. So, you know, having said that, then it's quite likely that somebody who's never played a Sims before is going to pick this up.
So has this got, like, cats and dogs in it? Like, because that was released recently for PC. Is it like
no,
complete?
I don't think so. So, and this is another thing. It feels a bit stripped back now.
Yeah, but that's because they added stuff later, I think,
yeah,
in the PC
I think
version.
Having a look back at the early reviews for the PC, it feels like this console version is that early PC version.
Man.
Now, there's plenty of other stuff that you can add into it. Like there's a pack that you can add in where you can be a vampire, which sounds cool. And there's like a couple of neighbourhoods pack that you can add in. But this is all extra paid on top stuff. And I had a look at it thinking, oh, well, I am having fun. I wouldn't mind having like cats and dogs in it or whatever, or being a vampire. But my God, the pricing on it is outrageous.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Outrageous. So, me being the tight ass that I am, decided that I wasn't going to buy it. I'm pretty sure, like, we're looking at 20-25 quid to add in extra neighbourhoods. That's again to, you know, maybe 15 if you want to be a vampire. So you're looking at, you want to add in 2 more neighbourhoods and the vampire pack. You're looking at pretty much the same price again for the game.
The game again, yeah.
And
no
I'm thinking,
no thanks.
Here you go. Just you know what? Here you go. So the Sims 4 City Living on PS4 is $32.99.
Bloody hell!
Yeah.
Add-on. The Vampire is $15.99.
Yeah.
And then there's like all the glamour stuff and patio stuff, and it's all like £8 each. I can't find the pets and dogs one, but that's what I'm currently playing on.
I don't think it's available yet on console because as soon as you load up the game, all of the extra packs that you can get are front and centre. So there's no way that I'm missing the fact that there's cats and dogs because I think it would be emblazoned across.
You wouldn't miss it.
The front page.
Video games, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, I gave it a 6.5 because of these things. It feels a bit sparse. The controls are awful, and it doesn't really help you play. But I am still playing it because I think the core game of it is very, very compelling. Addictive almost, really. And, I've now created another character called Dickwad because I'm a child. Yep, and he's just an absolute bastard. Okay. And he's in the world just being a twat every time you meet him, which is amazing. And I've created a family called the Parasites, which is slobs and like letting down the neighbourhood. So I'm having fun playing it and creating these really awkward situations. Like I created an old lady who hates kids and then had her in a house with a young family, and that was just hilarious watching this poor woman have a meltdown.
Sounds good to me.
So it turns out I'm a bit sadistic. So I've learned a lot.
You make your own fun in these games,
I've learned a lot about myself, Adam, playing The Sims 4. So I've been playing that. But I mean, like I say, I gave it a 6.5 because I just think that there's more work needed on it. But I am still playing it because I think it's good fun. I've been playing Battlefront 2, which I'm enjoying. Excuse me. Which I am enjoying. The grind is real. I'm, sort of sitting back after review and playing it for a bit longer. I've never liked the loot boxes in it. And I can see that there is some frustration with the way that it progresses, but I'm still kind of the opinion, because the first game didn't have any progression at all, it kind of feels like this one I'm not missing out, that I'm not progressing quite as fast as I could do, if you know what I mean. So that's a bit of an odd one. I've got conflicting things going on with Battlefront 2, but I've been playing that, enjoying that. What else have I played? Oh, the Assassin's Creed Origins game. I've been dipping in and out of that.
I still haven't started that. Yeah. I don't even know that I'm gonna. That might be the one I missed this year. Not through choice, but like these games are massive. Like,
I really like it.
That's what I'm hearing. Everyone's saying this.
I really, really like it. I really like Bayek. I think that he's a
Bayek. Yep.
Bayek. Yep. I really like him. I've really warmed to him. I think he's a really good character. Plus, the world is beautiful. I'm just enjoying, like I did with Horizon, just enjoying riding around the world. And I've set it now so that I've got very little of the sort of in-game stuff flashing about,
That's what I did with Horizon back in February. You have to knock that stuff
away
back.
All those objective markers and everything. And what I do is I sit Bayek on his horse, set him an objective some point away, and then just fly around as Senua.
So something I've meant to ask about that game actually. So with I forget what it is. Senua's an owl, isn't he? No,
it's a hawk.
Eagle.
Hawk, yeah.
A hawk. So with that thing, right? You press a button presumably, and you go up into the hawk eagle thing, Senua, and if you fly somewhere, can you then become Bayek in that place?
No.
Or is it's just because I wondered if that was a solution for fast travel. It's not. It's just like a spotting tool.
It tags things, and you can then travel to the.
It wouldn't make much sense if you could warp there. But I wondered if from a gameplay perspective, it was like you can. But then again,
but
I suppose
you can
break
fast
the game.
travel anyway. Once you open up the the synchronization spots, they become fast travel points anyway.
No, I just wondered if you could do it with the bird, like.
No. Like I say, I'm just enjoying being in that world, taking photos photographs again. I've taken an obscene amount of photographs with the photo mode. Yeah, it's a big shock for me because I haven't really played an Assassin's Creed properly since Brotherhood. I've tried a couple. I tried to play Black Flag, just couldn't get into it. I will try it again because I feel like I'd enjoy it, but I just haven't been in the right mood for it. And I fell out with what was
Syndicate?
the other one? No, I haven't played that
Unity?
one yet. I have got Syndicate.
Unity?
Unity, yeah, I fell out a bit with that one. So yeah, but it's kind of a bit of a shock for me that I'm enjoying this Assassin's Creed because I always feel a little bit overwhelmed by them. And you know when you're saying that fatigue sets in, where you're just a bit like, oh God, I really want this to be over now.
Yeah, let's wrap things up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm level 21 in it. I haven't done an awful lot of the main story.
Is it quite Horizon-y? Because thinking about it, now I've played a lot more of Horizon. What I've seen of Origins, like with the levelling up and the stuff, is it a bit Horizon-like?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful world, lots to do.
Yeah. I mean, and there is lots to do.
I mean,
There's
I guess
like
it's not going to be as
little
interesting,
markers
right? Because it's not, I mean, I know it's
dunno.
a real...
I don't
it's a
know.
real. Oh, okay.
There's some. You know what? I never. I don't think I mentioned it in the review because it's something I want people to find for themselves. But the side quests are really. There's some really good side quests, and there's one in particular which is insanely emotional, like really kind of moving, and that's all I'm going to say. Like I was it completely knocked me for 6. I wasn't expecting it, and it is a side quest, but it does play into the main characters once the kind of Caesar's introduced, and that's not a spoiler, it's history.
Yeah, we knew. I knew that he was in there.
Yeah, and there's something happens, and it's like it's pretty graphic, pretty kind of disturbing, and it also emotional because of what it is. And I just think that's why it is one of my favourite kind of games.
People say that it reminds them a little bit of The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
In the side quests are actually quite engaging and quite in depth in the way that The Witcher 3 did side quests. Now they're not saying it's at that same level, but I have seen some comparisons saying that with just a little touch more attention and depth to some of the side quests, they think that it would have been, it can be sitting alongside The Witcher 3. Now that I find that really interesting because, I mean, I've been pottering around doing side quests, and there have been some that have been quite multi-stage and taking me all over. And then again, there's other little ones that are just quick, go here, protect this person there. So yeah, there's a lot of work in it. There is a lot of things to do, and a lot of it feels worthwhile, which I think is interesting because sometimes, I mean, it doesn't feel like there's any collectible stuff in there, although there is in terms of, you can go to a camp and take out the guards and there'll be like a treasure in each one of those, and that's often a weapon. So there is kind of, but it isn't like ticking off. Right. Oh, well, I must find 50 scrolls or whatever. There isn't really anything like that. And speaking of scrolls, there are these scrolls that you can locate that have little mysteries. They have little riddles attached to them, don't they, Chris? Yeah. Where you have to really pay attention to... So it'll say, like, it'll have like a little passage, and that little passage is detailing like an environment design or whatever. So you really have to pay attention to the landscape, because it might say, underneath the third rock near the Great Pyramids that's shaped like a fungus or whatever, that's where you'll find me. So you kind of go to Giza.
They did that in Black Flag.
So you kind of go to Giza and you have to really pay attention to this world that they've built, which I really quite like because it really makes you appreciate just the work that has gone into this ancient Egypt. And I'll say as well, I think one of the reasons why Origins has clicked with me is that ancient Egypt is fascinating. Wandering around ancient Egypt is is great. It's a big appeal to me, that, and I think that's why. Another reason why I'm just really enjoying being in it, being in that world, and seeing these things, you know, these fantastic sites. Yeah. What else have I played? In the Black Friday sale thing on Xbox, I picked up What Remains of Edith Finch, because I remember Chris's review.
On Xbox?
Yeah? Tenner?
I thought that was only on PS4.
No. Picked up on Xbox for 10 whole sheets. And I remember Chris's review, and people are talking that it's, you know, it's Game of the Year.
Oh, I love this game, yeah.
So I've picked it up. I haven't played that much. I tried playing it last night, but again, I think I need to be in the right mood for it. I had to put the reticle on. It appears that I have real issue with these Wonder games if there isn't something for me to focus on, because I just get motion sick, and it's awful. It creeps up on you. It's not immediate. You're playing, and then all of a sudden you just really don't feel good. Yep. And I've had to, fortunately, it looks like the developers have either had feedback and added this in, I don't know, or it was always in there. But within the options, you can add in a reticle, and that has made a huge difference. So I'm going to go back to that probably when I've got a few quiet hours, I think, because there was a lot going on when I was trying to play it. Yeah, there was a lot going on when I was trying to play it, and I thought, do you know what, this needs my full attention, so I'm going to go back to that. And then I've played Tacoma. I tried to play Tacoma, but oh my goodness, I've bounced right off that. That has not clicked with me at all, which I'm a bit disappointed by, actually, because I was quite looking forward to playing it. Again, I might go back to it to see if it was just me in a poor mood, but oof. No, I've bounced off it. I
found Tacoma quite formulaic in terms of, whereas in Gone Home you are exploring, I think you feel like you're exploring at your own pace, but the area's so well designed you aren't. You are going the way you're supposed to, whereas in this it is very much like, go down this corridor and do these 2 rooms, then go back and go down this corridor and do these 2 rooms, and it is very formulaic. It is more, if anything, it's more of a game, if you will. I hate saying that, so please forgive me, the listeners. But it, by being more of a game, makes it less interesting, perhaps, because like it is all story, but it's in more of a game, and I like it. I still liked it. I just didn't think it was. I mean, you know, Gone Home is rightly, you know, critically as well as it's done. Like this isn't quite. You know, it's the difficult second album, you know, and it does hit more than it misses for me, but.
See, the thing is I didn't really click with Gone Home.
Oh, okay, right.
So, but there again, I think Tacoma appealed because the setting, the sci-fi kind of setting, interests me.
Yeah,
just the environment that it's in. So I think that's why I was kind of a bit disappointed that it hasn't clicked with me. But like I said, I will go back to it. But yeah, you know, when you just bounce off something just straight away and you just go, I don't think that's going to be my bag at all. I did plough through with Gone Home, but I was ultimately a bit disappointed by it. Is that really bad? I know it's really well received.
So you're saying it's the Sonic Forces of Wonder games. That is very harsh. Actually, I'm going to take that back.
No, I'm not saying that. Please don't say that.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. I mean, I know Chris really liked it, and I did really like it. I think Chris liked it the most, but I really liked it too. I just, yeah, no, I have nothing to add there. Actually, I just liked it.
Yeah.
So that's it, really. I'm trying to desperately play as much as I can.
Yeah. I mean, let's. But before we, as I say, before we move on, or before we wrap up for other listeners, if you got a list, like what are you? Because I've got a list of what I want to either play enough of to have some opinion or get through if possible. Have you guys got a list for, you know, because it is really rapidly approaching Game of the Year podcast?
Yeah, and I just
I've got one game.
I don't think I'm being realistic.
What's on your list then? What's on your list?
Nier Automata. Or
have you started that?
No.
Okay, that probably needs to come up the list then. Yeah. Okay.
Nio or Neo. I wanted to have a little dabble in that.
Another really long game. Yep.
Yeah. See, I'm not being realistic here, am I?
I mean, you could get through Nier, definitely.
Zelda.
Okay. Now I'm starting to understand.
But I have just literally purchased the console that can be played on.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen. And I'd like to play Mario as well.
Have you played Hellblade, Nick?
No. That's a good one.
That's a cheeky one. That ain't very long. That's what, 8, 10 hours.
Yeah, good shout, because that is on my list, but I keep forgetting about it.
See, you want to talk about games that you bounced off quick? That's the conversation for another time, I think.
Really?
Hellblade?
Yeah, I bounced off that insanely hard. And I love Ninja Theory. So I don't know what that was about. Yeah. Any others, though, on your list, your attempt list?
I haven't got it written down in front of me, Adam, and I'm terrible with memory, so I think for now, I mean, are they not enough?
I mean, that's more like, I would say Nier, Zelda and Mario are definitely going to be in the conversations, so of a lot of different categories, so yeah, I get what you... Well, I mean, Chris, what about you? Have you got any... I know you've played a lot this year.
I'd say there's one game that more than any of the others that I need to play more to have a proper opinion on, because it was like one of the most anticipated of last year's, and that's Persona 5.
Bloody hell, I forgot all about that game.
That came out this year. Like you wouldn't think, but like I haven't played near enough. That probably be coming up. More Zelda, obviously, because I'm nowhere near scratching the surface. I'm probably about 5 or 6 hours in. Yeah, I can't off the top of my head. I can't really think of anything, but there's a couple definitely.
I mean, for me, it's Assassin's Creed, which I haven't even started, and I might have to just sit there quietly when people talk about that. The other one, actually, interestingly, I downloaded the other day, is on my list that I want to get through, is Night in the Woods.
Oh, I want to play that too.
So I've played a bit of it on PC, but I want to sit. A lot of the time with PC games, I'll play some if we're capturing video or whatever, and then I'll forget about it because I'm working at the PC. So I've grabbed that on PS4 so I can just sit there, and I believe it's not that long.
No, you're looking at about 4 hours.
Okay, that's manageable.
I want to play Thimbleweed Park as well.
Yeah, it's another one I've played 10 minutes of, you know.
Yeah.
Horizon I will almost certainly finish now in time. Assassin's Creed. The Evil Within, but again, I don't think that's going to come up in too many people's lists, and I don't know that I can find time for that. I'd like to, if I could get 5 or 6 hours in Assassin's Creed, I'd be happy, just to get a feel for it, so I can understand what people are looking at.
I think you'd get enough. In fact, to be honest, I think you'd get enough pretty much straight away.
Yeah, I've heard it starts quick. Yeah, I mean, another one, Metroid on 2DS, 3DS, but I don't even own it, and it's just, I can't see anyone mention it, but I've heard it's really good. I think otherwise I'm fairly up to date. There are games like Evil Within 2 I'd like to play more of, but I've just given up on like, it's going to have to be quite... Yeah, see, I've played through that. That's a cracker. Persona 5 is a good shout. I haven't finished that, and I should have because I had it early enough, you know. I played a lot of it, like I played 10 plus hours, but it was one of those where I almost, again, if I was reviewing it, it would have been a different story because you've got to get through it. But because it was just playing it for fun, it was like, I have to be honest with myself because I knew how long it was because Nicola reviewed it and told me, and I had to be honest with myself and think, am I really going to play 100 hours of one game?
Yeah.
And if I'm not, what's the point? As much as I'm enjoying it, what is the point of me carrying on with it 10 hours in? Because it's just never going to get finished. It's almost like, what's the point? I just stopped because, you know, I mean, Neo's another one I would like to play more of, but, you know, I wouldn't mind having a couple more run-throughs of Neo Automata. But I played plenty of that to know how much I like it. But yeah, I mean, there's a few. I think Creed Origins is possibly the one that might fall by the wayside because it's just a time thing. You know, how long do we delay doing the podcast? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it has to get done so we have time off. You know, but there you go. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll see, and listeners will see quite soon. You know, it's not far off. But that's about it for this week. Actually, like, you know, it is really ramping up to Game of the Year season. We are, you know, the next sort of few podcasts a lot of it will be us talking about the catching up we've done. Hopefully this time next week I'll have finished Horizon. Something will have gone wrong if I haven't, or it really is an obscenely long game. Maybe we will chat about Night of the Woods next week. But that's it. You can speak to Nicola on Twitter at wavy_gravy. That's WAVEY _GRAVEY. Chris is at First Avenger 83. I'm at JebusF. Gary's not here, but give him a shout out anyway, at Blue Fury 47. And of course, at God is a Geek is who you need to follow for your needs. If you did enjoy this and you think, well, I could do with another 10 or 15 minutes of this, or I tell you what, I'd love to hear one of them doing a daily news podcast, rounding up all the news so I can just get it on my phone. You can do that if you go to patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, and that's $1 a month, which works out about 87p, I think, English a month. So that's also gets you early access to video content when we're allowed to show it, which we've been doing a lot recently. It gets you all sorts of stuff. You've got a Discord channel that's exclusive to Patreons. And also, of course, I should pimp out youtube.com/GodIsAGeek, where you'll find our video content as well. And if you haven't, or you subscribe somewhere else, make sure you go to iTunes and subscribe to this podcast. And if you do like us and you don't want to put money down, you just want to help us out the best you can, one way of doing that is to leave a review of 5 stars, obviously, for the podcast, and subscribe. Make sure you do download the episodes, and as I say, share that love. That helps us, because the more reviews we get, the more subscriptions we get, the higher up we go in the charts, and we appear in other people's feeds, and they go, oh, what's this? This sounds interesting, and then they love us too. So on that note, that's it. So thank you very much. We'll see you next Wednesday. Nicola, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Chris, thank you for yours.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye for now.